Hello everyone, time for the vid. Pacers-Cavs Game 4. Holy smokes, what an hour and 15 minutes of my life. What a 24 minutes of basketball experience that was. I'm Tony East, I cover the Pacers for Forbes and Locked On Pacers. Talking about this game is not talking about this game. Talking about Pacers-Cavs Game 4 is talking about one half of a basketball game where the way I phrased it in several places is the Pacers stole the Cavs' soul. They just came in, snatched it, full court pressure, making shots, adjusting, never phased, always poised, dominant basketball. Several players plus 30 by halftime, a 41-point lead at 80-39, tied for the largest in NBA playoff history and a half. Just absolute dominance, to the point that a Pacers team that has come back from 20 down many times in the last couple months and blown many huge leads in the last couple months, everyone knew it was over. Starters barely played in the second half. Nobody was trying for the Pacers in any sort of real sense in the second half. They cruised to a 20-point win. That totally is a disservice to how much of a butt-kicking this game was. Unbelievable game from the Pacers. It should have been obvious right away. The Cavs won the tip. The Pacers stole the ball. Tyrese Haliburton, many questions about his poor Game 3 and his not speaking to the media after the game. Dunks it, loud roar. Pacers are in it. They're up 5-0 like that. The energy is high in the building. The Pacers are pressuring the Cavs all over the floor. They can't get into their offense. Their big man can't catch the ball. They're turning it over like crazy. The Cavs are turning it over like crazy, not the Pacers. The Pacers are winning the rebounding battle. All these little things amounted to signs that the Pacers had the energy. The Cavs should have been the desperate team down 2-1 on the road. It was the Pacers playing desperate to start the game. Desperation only gets you so far. Execution and shot making will change a game. Holy cow. The Pacers were just unbelievable in this game. Many questions entering the game, rightly centered around the Pacers' inability to break down a Cavaliers zone defense, a 3-2 in Game 3. They just ripped it up. First possession against it, Pascal Siakam deep seal in the post. He looks to a corner shooter. The Cavs rotate, anticipating the pass. Instead, Siakam hits Andrew Nembhard for a wide-open right wing three. The Pacers screened the man up top in the zone, if it was Mobley, if it was Hunter, if it was somebody else, to let the ball handlers get deeper in the paint to force someone to rotate. They'd stick shooters in the corners. They generated a ton of open threes. Just the mere presence of a shooter in the corner was enough at times to force the Cavs to be reactive. They figured out some stuff in the second half of Game 3. They executed the breakdown of that zone to perfection in Game 4 to the extent that the Cavs said, we're done. We can't do this. They went to a 2-3 zone instead. More traditional. Everybody understands where to be. It gives up other kinds of shots. It's still challenging to do against the Pacers. Players who have not had a good series all the time were dominant. Pascal Siakam, up and down, let's say, against the Cavs. I predicted he'd be the X factor. He hadn't been yet. This game showed why. The Cavs were switching. As soon as a small got onto Siakam or Turner or Toppin, the Pacers said, boop, you get the ball, do something. It always led to something good, a shot, a pass, a defensive rotation, something of value for the Pacers. The early seals weren't really as much of a thing as they can be with Siakam. They were still valuable. Miles Turner has been punking smalls all series. He did a good job of that again in this game. Obi Toppin, by far his best game of the series, not even close, highlighted by a Julius Erving-esque reverse layup right after he caught the ball like a wide receiver on the sideline. The front court was fantastic. Even Thomas Bryant had a nice offensive first half. He's had an up-and-down series as well. The front court dominating the Cavs front court to that extent unlocked everything. The Pacers were so good on offense. Haliburton was getting the ball to the right guys at the right time. Everybody was making shots. Everybody. That is not a stretch to say. Pascal Siakam started the second quarter was ridiculous. He had 8 or 10 points like that. Beautiful pass inside to Obi Toppin. Miles Turner's flurry to close the second quarter was ridiculous. Hitting step-back threes, 30-footers. He was 4 for 4 from deep at halftime. Miles Turner made more threes in the first half than the entire Cavaliers team made twos in the first half. One of many comical stats that this game revealed. The Pacers had been getting beat in the possession battle often in this series. Instead, they dominated the possession battle in this game and also made a bunch of shots. So their offensive numbers just looked insane with the possession and per possession numbers through the roof. A 17-0 run when the game was already out of hand. Just ridiculous. One of the loudest first halves I've heard from a crowd in a building. Obviously, many late game moments have led to explosive crowds, but to see it in the second quarter was ridiculous. 80-39 at halftime. Unbelievable. The Cavs are good. They won 64 games, and the Pacers just completely pummeled them. Their defense was better. The pressure was there. The Cavs were never comfortable. They never got great shots. They haven't shot well this series. They did shoot well in the second half. The game was decided. Who cares? Ridiculous win for the Pacers. Just ridiculous. I've never seen a game in the playoffs be that. Well, I have. Mavs Suns 2022, I believe, was close to this. But I have very rarely seen a game become so lopsided that the rest of the game just does not matter. No one cares. No one cares because it doesn't matter. No one cares because there's maybe like some alarming signs of let up. But the game was over. It was over. Donovan Mitchell didn't play the second half. If he had played, it would not have changed the result of the game at all. The Cavs had injuries. The Pacers could have played the 96 Bulls, the Dream Team, whatever. They'd have won that game. They were that good. And net making that many shots. 12 for 18 from 3 at halftime, which included a heave, so it was really 12 for 17. Great finishing in the paint, good at the foul line, low turnovers, a lot of offensive rebounds. Everything they needed to do better, they did. I already talked about it, but the entire tenor, the entire conversation of what's going on with the Pacers after their awful Game 3 was, well, the zone defense killed them. They're getting smoked in the possession battle. Their slow starts have been terrible. They were up 13-5 like that in this game. Kenny Atkinson took a timeout. Tyrese Halliburton was quiet. What's going on? Are they in trouble? The Cavs won a road game. No one had won on the home yet. Is it going to be 2-2 going back to Cleveland? Instead, Pacers punched first. They never stopped, really. Ironic timing because Ben Mathurin got ejected for what the refs deemed a punch in this game. They rebounded very well. They never turned it over. They fixed the zone. Tyrese Halliburton was much better. Pascal Siakam, who had been up and down in the series, was tremendous. And the Pacers looked like not even the better team, but just like an eons better group. And they're up 3-1 with a home game in hand. The Pacers have lost one home game that Tyrese Halliburton's played the last 2 years. They are obviously the clear favorites to win the series now. Just ridiculous. They've been unbelievable. The series is not over. They know it. Miles Turner said it. Use the Kobe quote, job's not finished. It's not. The Cavs won 15 games in a row twice this season. They're very good. They are banged up, certainly. Darius Garland does not look like himself. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen are not very good. Injury-related or not, in Game 4. Donovan Mitchell left the game with an injury. Hunter can't make shots because of this thumb thing or for some other reason. It's not the Cavs that were that good in the regular season, but they're still very good. They smoked the Pacers, destroyed them in Game 3. So it's not over. But the Pacers have a lot of answers, have a very high peak right now, and are one win away from a repeat trip to the Eastern Conference Finals, which they did just over a decade ago. Much more on this game with 3 podcasts the last 2 days on Locked On Pacers and story coming in Forbes. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in Cleveland after Game 5.